My name is Elisa Fuentes. I started out as sports reporter and I made it up to sports editor. My goal is obviously to cover every game that happens here at CUCB, but that's hard. You can't be everywhere. You can't have somebody at every single place every time. So my goal is to cover at least most of the sports. Well, every sport, but not try to cover every game. As long as we make it out to some of the lesser known sports like track and field, for example, or beach volleyball, then I feel like I've done the school and the sports well, but also covered sports well enough. I'm looking mainly to try and have the students who are new to sports writing, try to make them feel comfortable in the very beginning, like making sure they have enough training that they feel comfortable when they go to a game, that they understand what to look for, how to get those interviews, because sports, especially being a writer or reporter, it's different than being a news reporter or an opinions reporter, because whereas those you can just go out and talk to students. With sports, you have to get approval to talk to the athletes. So it's just making them feel comfortable reaching out and being able to write about sports, because it's a lot of fun going to the games, but it can be a bit stressful because if you're new to it and you're not sure, like, what do I say for this sport? Do I just talk about the game and just say like, oh yeah, it was a great game? And so my goal is to help those students next semester. A good story, it's not for sports. It's not just being engaged throughout the whole article. It's also having that balance of stats in there, because some people when they read about sports, maybe they just want to know like, oh, how many rebounds in basketball did this player get, who had like the most rebounds or something of that nature. It's not just, oh, well, they were losing the whole time and then finally at the last minute they managed to get that one goal, or they scored those few points that brought them the lead and gave them the win. There's a little bit more to that, and I want to, for me, a good story encompasses both, and there's a little bit of balance. I think for me, it was my first time writing about basketball, the women's and the men's. That was a little bit tougher for me because I never wrote about basketball before, and that day there was a doubleheader. It was the opening games for both men and women. It was a doubleheader. So I wasn't just there watching the women's basketball play first. It was like, oh shoot, I have to, right after is the men's, I have to do that too. And so for me, I want to say that one for me was like one story or two stories that I wrote about that really like stuck with me, because that was my first time, and writing about something new like that, like for basketball, it really gave me the confidence for the rest of the semester to continue writing. I think it's great because you not only see the campus differently, you get to work with students who you never thought you would have worked with. I'm an English major, English with an emphasis of credential, and I would have never thought I'd become friends with somebody who's doing a communications major, or like even going to games and covering them. Just like, I'm not just a fan who's like here to support CUCB, my school's team. I'm here to like report about them and get to know the players who I probably wouldn't have seen them in that way before. So I think it's great to just see the whole school in a different light. It's awesome.